Hi, my name is Hunter Robinson, and this is the Roaring Twenties and Dirty Thirties. The progress of the Roaring Twenties. The Roaring Twenties was a time of prosperity and growth for most countries. Canada, in particular, was doing extremely well in many industries, such as manufacturing of goods, agriculture, infrastructure, and the trade and distribution of natural resources. This was great for Canada's relationship with other countries, as it was able to keep up with the demand of resources. When World War II ended, many of the jobs females took over during the war were given back to male workers. Many men resumed jobs such as doctors, lawyers, bankers, automobile manufacturers, social workers, farmers, pilots, and miners. Many females had various jobs like secretaries, nurses, desk clerks, teachers, cooks, and waitresses. Everyone had a job during this time and could provide for their families. The 20s had also shown lots of progress for women's rights, when in 1929 females were finally granted the right to be considered people. This meant that women could now pursue jobs in Parliament. After the war, Canada gained a well defined independence and stopped relying heavily on the aid of Great Britain. We finally had our own representation in the League of Nations and were recognized as a country rather than just a colony of Britain. The decline of the Dirty Thirties. The 20s may have had their good parts, but they did negatively impact the 30s as well. In 1929, many of the people felt confident in the stock market. When it failed in late October of 29, it began a chain of events leading to one of Canada's worst decades. The Dirty Thirties was more than just a collapse of the stock market. It was a complete crash of the economy. Drought was rampant throughout the prairie provinces and rendered fields useless and unfruitful. Farmers couldn't produce enough crops to live off of, let alone produce enough to sell to other countries. Canada could hardly import goods from other countries because there was nothing to offer in return. Due to high amounts of personal debt and lack of jobs, most Canadian citizens found it impossible to provide for their families. This led to mass starvation and many people left homeless. Many women had to revert back to being domestic housewives in order to support their families. Between 1929 and 1939, Canada hit an all-time high for unemployment at 27%. Out of every country, Canada was hit the worst and suffered the worst economic downturn in the history of industrialized world.